Thoughts on Phoenix acquiring Bradley Beal, essentially giving up Chris Paul for Bradley Beal. I think they're going to be a really good team. I don't know if they're necessarily a championship team. I think the Lakers made a lot of good improvements this offseason. Obviously, Denver is still there. I think Golden State is going to come back for a vengeance with Chris Paul leading the bench. I think Sacramento is going to be better. But I know you're a big fan of all three of these guys, Bradley Beal, Durant, Devin Booker. They're all on the same team. I just think Beal and Booker are sort of a duplicate of each other. And all three of these guys, by the way, all have injury history.
Kevin Durant pisses me off more than like, how do you slip during warmups and then like, oh.
The worst mistake, and I know everybody said, they were happy, including us, when Durant left Golden State. I defended him leaving OKC for Golden State because my hatred for Russell Westbrook is way more than your hatred for Isaac Okoro. I think Russell Westbrook's one of the worst basketball players I've ever freaking seen in my life.
You think that because you're a Lakers fan? Let's start there.
I am not a Lakers fan. I am a LeBron supporter, not even a fan. I am a LeBron supporter. And I've been saying Westbrook stinks since he was in OKC after Durant left. So it has nothing to do with him being a Laker. By the way, I gave him his credit. I thought he played pretty well with the Clippers at the end of last season. Nonetheless, I digress. I think Durant's biggest mistake was leaving Golden State. He went to Brooklyn with a guy, a nutcase in Kyrie Irving. They had DeAndre Jordan. They moved off him. They bring in James Harden. James Harden, who quits on every team he's ever been on, he even says, this is a damn mess. He leaves. They go get Ben Simmons, who hasn't won a basketball game in what feels like 4 freaking years. And now Durant is all of a sudden, yeah, I quit. I want to go to Phoenix. I want to help Chris Paul get a ring. 2 months later, screw Chris Paul. Let's go get Bradley Beal. Who's next on Kevin Durant's list? What's he going to do next year? Screw Devin Booker. Let's go get somebody else. I mean, really.
At this point, I think this is the best. This is a blessing in disguise for Chris Paul. Let's start there. This is an absolute blessing in disguise. I think Chris Paul's going to thrive. I think Jordan Poole's going to suck in Washington. I think that Phoenix is going to be very mediocre, actually. I think that it won't work. I think the formula for Devin Booker and Bradley Beal won't work. I think Kevin Durant's declining. It's really an end of an era. I see all these posts on IG and Twitter. I need to get off Twitter. I need to hop on Threads. I know, but
yes, hop on Threads. By the way, follow me at LewisFriend25 on Threads. Link is in the description along with Jalen's Instagram and all my socials.
You're welcome for the plug. But all these Twitter posts and IG about an end of an era, seeing Chris Paul come off a bench makes me really sad. Like, it just makes me feel so old. But anyway, I think Phoenix is going to suck this year. I can't lie. I'm not high on this team anymore.
Wow. I'm actually surprised. I thought you'd be very high on Phoenix.
I am not. I wish Bradley Beal went somewhere else. I think that, like I said, I think Jordan Poole's going to suck. He's going to fall into the shuffle. He's going to be a player we forget about in the next 2 years. He's not going to thrive.
The Wizards are literally one of those teams that's like, oh, yeah, they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, it's like, oh, yeah, we got to – it's like what the Hornets were for the longest time. Now they got LaMelo Ball. They got Brandon Miller. They could be okay to decent in a couple of years. But, I mean, it's like what Sacramento was for all those years. It's like, oh, yeah, we got to play them.
It's like you're looking up the schedule for the Cavs. You're like, it's a Wednesday night, like 7 o'clock game. You're like, oh, we play that team in Washington. Forgot they existed.
Yeah. I do want to bring this theory to you because I don't know if we'll agree on this. I have a feeling we will. So I took around a look at the NBA, as you know, before the playoffs. I ranked my top 10 players. As you know, after the playoffs, that all changed. Nikola Jokic completely changed my mind. He proved me wrong, and I'm glad he did. I know you were always a Denver and Nikola Jokic fan. I needed to personally see him go win a championship, and that he did. But I look at Denver structure their team. and I look at recent NBA success, Jalen, and I also look at, as we talked about sometimes over the last few years in the draft, you have guys like Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Trey Young, you name them. There's all these kids, John Morant, coming in, despite John Morant's personal issues, coming in and working very quickly and getting these teams to legitimate contention in their respective conferences. So in today's NBA, as we just talked about with Phoenix, I don't think three superstars is the answer nowadays in today's league, which I think is as competitive as ever, and I think it's great for the league. I think you need a superstar like a Jokic, a Steph, a Giannis, a LeBron. I think you need a star, whether it's, a Klay Thompson, a Jamal Murray, who I think really rose into stardom. I think there's a lot of really good number twos in the league. And then I think you need a bunch of role players and 3-and-D guys, which is why a team like Dallas that went ahead and re-upped Kyrie Irving for all that money didn't understand it. I don't think the fit works. And as I mentioned with our Cavs, I think the backcourt dynamic, I don't think your two front scorers can be backcourt players. Like, I think you need a really good center or a wing. I think you need a really good guard and a star/superstar, and then just surround them with 3-and-D wings. That, to me, we saw with Miami this year. Star, potential superstar, the way he plays in Jimmy Butler, and then just a bunch of damn wings and 3-and-D guys that can shoot, make baskets, and defend the rim.
Just wait till Dame ends up in Miami. That team's going to be nasty.
That team is going to be nasty. Now, I know. Now, you're a big fan of Damian Lillard, as I know. I wanted to address this with you. I think Dame sometimes he has a number one's game and a number two's mind. Like, sometimes I don't think Dame is at that superstar level, a lot like Jimmy Butler. But I think both those guys can push each other, and that way the whole load isn't on Jimmy, isn't on Dame. And so if you do get that combination with Bam, even if you have to give up a Tyler Hero, they did lose a lot of that depth, which worries me a little bit. Gabe Vincent going to the Lakers, Strus obviously to the Cavs. If they have to give up Hero and Duncan Robinson, you're losing a lot of that bench. But that in the East still has a making of a championship team, with Milwaukee getting old very quickly, and they did not get younger. Philadelphia, the choke artists that they are, and then Boston. I feel about Boston. I think they're also choke artists that they are. So if they get Dame, I think Miami's right back in NBA final contention next year.
You know how much I love Dame Dollar. I love Damian Lillard a lot. I like his game. I like how cold-blooded he is. But I agree. If he had a number one mindset, he would have been out of Portland a long time ago. Now, a lot of people are mad. Oh, a lot of people in Portland are mad. Oh, Dame, how could you do this? How could you? Dude, I would have left too. I would have been out of there years ago.
And by the way, you found your next star to superstar in Scoot Henderson. Don't know how good he's going to be, but he's going to be pretty damn good early.
Yeah. Now, do I agree with giving up some of your depth? It's something you might have to do. But this Miami team could be insane. Could be the best team in basketball besides Denver. Them and Denver. That could be. We could get a real finals matchup. That would be so fun to watch. And I hope he ends up on Miami. I don't care if we have to play him. We'll beat him, just as long as Isaac Okoro isn't on the floor. But we'll beat him.
Oh my goodness,
it's okay.
Jalen, help me out. I'm sure you heard my rant last Tuesday on the podcast about the NBA in-season tournament. I don't understand it at all.
What the hell is it?
The format doesn't make sense. As I said, if you're going to group all of these teams, why not just do it by division? I mean, the divisions are supposed to matter in the NBA. Why not do it then? It's supposedly for money, which most of these NBA players don't care about the money. They make so much money to begin with, even the young kids. So to me, it's not going to help with ratings. It's not going to make the NBA season more interesting. To me, the NBA season really doesn't start until February after football. I don't even care about the Christmas Day games anymore. I know you're a bigger NBA fan than I am, but let's say the Nuggets play the Heat, even with Dame, in November. I don't give a damn because these two teams are going to be completely different November versus potentially June in another finals game.
Right, because you have the trade deadline in there. You have moves to be made. And I don't understand whose idea was this? You know what? I got a rant. You know whose idea this was? This was LeBron. This has
No,
LeBron.
it was not.
This has
Stop it.
LeBron written all over it. Just so if he wins, it's a petty accomplishment. Oh, Jordan didn't do this. What even is this?
Mr. Sandvick, you have crossed the line about this. This was 100% Adam Silver's way of getting more TV money. And as I said, what happens if the damn Wizards and Jordan Poole shock the world and win this tournament? What the hell is it going to be? Oh, we won 20 games the whole year, but we won the in-season tournament.
What does that even mean? Like, what? Okay, how is this going to work? Because are we just going to stop halfway through the season just to go to bed?
So this is what they said, okay? That there's going to be tournament games on Tuesdays and Fridays, basically in the month of November. And on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sunday, you're still going to have regular season games. And by the way, the tournament games in the first round or whatever they call it, they're still going to count towards the regular season games. So I don't understand it. I don't know why they're doing it in November. I don't know why they wouldn't just do it. If you want to do it over All-Star weekend. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
See, I follow this guy on TikTok. He's a football guy. He doesn't really watch basketball or baseball, but he's a Bears guy. So he's like, "Oh, this is great for the NBA. I see so many people bitching and moaning and complaining." Can I swear on here? Anyway, he's like, I see so many people complaining, and I'm like, yeah, because it doesn't make sense. This makes no sense. This is a cash grab. This isn't for our entertainment. I don't care about the what's it called? The
NBA Cup or whatever they're gonna call it.
Yeah, what is this? Soccer? Like, what? Okay. Adam Silver, you need to go. You need to go. This definitely has LeBron written all over it, though. I will say that. And this isn't me being a hater. This is just something to pat off his legacy. If he doesn't win, if he wins, if he doesn't win, who cares? I hope we win, even though I don't know what that entails. You know what it should be? If you win this tournament and you make the playoffs, you should get home court. You should get home court advantage.
Somebody said, and I like this idea, they should add an extra pick to the first round of the draft, whether they want to do it at the end of the lottery or at the end of the first round, and the winner of that tournament gets the extra pick.
That's good. Or the winner of the tournament gets the number 1 pick.
And you just get rid of the lottery, which is the biggest rigged thing in the history of the NBA, and the NBA gets to control it? Nah, they won't do that.
Yeah, but that would be fun. Can we talk about Wemby for a little bit? Can we?
We can talk about Wemby for a second, because I told you about Wemby a long time ago, about 6 months ago, and I told you to go look up this kid's highlights, and he's Giannis already with a shot. We can talk about Wemby for a second. I'll let you give your thoughts on Wemby, because I want to get your thoughts on sort of the off-season rule changes real quick before we move on to wrestling.
Now, I told you this last night. I love Summer League ball, okay?
This boy takes Summer League way too seriously. Go ahead.
How can you... Anyways, you are a football advocate.
I am.
Okay?
I hate the preseason.
You should love preseason.
I hate it.
I love basketball. I love preseason. I love everything basketball.
By the way, I want the NFL to get rid of the preseason. That's how much I hate it.
I do too. But I don't want Summer League to go anywhere. This man, Wemby, is dogging. He's a grown man on the floor. He he is like, Jesus, like, I am scared to play this man. And with Pop's play style, this man will be a monster. I guarantee it. The league should be scared. Giannis should be scared. All the big men should be absolutely terrified. I love Wemby. I'm on the Wemby train. I'm all for it.
Jalen, 2 rule changes that are going to take place in the NBA this year. One I like, one I think is going to be stupid and very controversial. The one I like is if a coach wins his first challenge, he gets a second challenge. The way it works in the NFL, the way it works in baseball, the way it should always work. Really like that rule. This flopping rule, where a team can get a technical foul for, another player flopping. How the hell are you going to determine what a flop is?
Well, all you got to do is watch James Harden for 6 hours straight, and you can.
I mean, the NBA officiating is the worst officiating ever. Just take a look at Game 5 of the NBA Finals this year between the Heat and Nuggets. Jalen, do you remember in the first half when Jokic was getting hit by like 4 people and they didn't call a foul?
Dude, it's like JBL came out from there and gave Jokic like a clothesline.
And then in the fourth quarter, they touch him. They go, beep.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like, I'm going to watch for words. I don't understand it. Like, unless it's clearly obvious, right? If you touch a guy and he goes, ooh, then I guess you could say that's flopping. But to me, this is going to be a bust. I don't get it. I don't know. You got any words for this?
The flopping rule doesn't make sense. What are they going to do? Just compare flops and be like, oh, well.
Yeah, how do you define a flop? I said the blood charge call next to probably pass interference in the NFL is the hardest call to make in sports. Like, it's so bang, bang. Some are clearly obvious, but 90% of them are bang, bang. Like, I don't know. People have different balances. Some guy can take a hit and fall backwards. Other guys can take a hit and fall, slightly. It just depends on your size, your weight. There's a bunch of different factors.
Yeah. If you say you have me on the floor and Draymond's coming at me and he gives me a little shove, obviously I'm going to fall because I'm skinny and not as heavy. What are you going to do? Oh, yeah. Well, he flopped because he flew 6 feet down, 6 feet down the other side of the floor. Like, I can jump, for Christ. When I get pushed, I can jump backwards. For God's sake, I can flop. Like, how can you determine what a flop is?
And apparently, it's named one technical foul. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be a situation where it's like a 1 or 2 point game or maybe a tie game late. And there's going to be a situation where a team drives to the basket. There's going to be a controversial where a guy falls down. They're going to call a flop and the team's going to win on a technical free throw. And it's going to be a complete disaster.
Yeah. You know who would be in real big trouble if this rule was implemented 10 years ago?
Who would that be?
Our boy, our beloved Cavalier, Anderson Varejao.
See, I don't know because I don't think Andy ever flopped.
Okay.
Maybe they called it. I don't know.
Tell me Andy never flopped.
Well, what is a flop? I just had this conversation with you.
A flop is where you just jump backward. I seen a flop yesterday in a college soccer game. I saw a flop. It was by my own cousin. He flopped. It was clear.
I mean, one guy said it's clear if you touch a guy and he goes, oh, that is clear.
That is Andy. That's Andy's specialty right there.
Yeah, sometimes, but not very often. From what I remember, Andy was always in perfect position. I want what Kevin Love did for all those years with the Cavs.
Oh man, this league is in big trouble.
Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.